What's up, Taiwan? I'm Brossard with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. President Lai Ching-te's new Civil Defense Committee has met for the first time in Taipei. The initiative brings together representatives from government, academia, and the private sector to map out how Taiwan can prepare for any kind of disaster. Reese Ayers has more on what was on the agenda for the Thursday meeting.
The first meeting of President Lai Ching-te's new Civil Defense Committee has taken place in Taipei, bringing together public and private sector resources to make sure Taiwan has the best chance at responding to any natural or man-made disasters. In his opening remarks, Lai said he wants to continue his predecessor Tsai Ing-wen's legacy. She started by taking stock of the country's resources. He said now it's time to focus on verifying those resources and implementing them in case of disaster. He made three main points during his introductory speech, saying Taiwan needs to be prepared, particularly during peacetime. He said that Taiwan should strengthen its response mechanisms with confidence and that any plans should be rolled out step by step and in a controlled manner. Now, Taiwan's civil defense includes training civilians in disaster response, making sure that energy and critical infrastructure is sound, making sure that medical care and evacuation procedures are in place, securing communication networks and transport and financial networks, all to the goal of building a stronger and more robust democratic society and safeguarding national security. And all this in the face of natural disasters. Taiwan is extremely prone to earthquakes and typhoons, and of course, an aggressive neighbor. China claims Taiwan is part of its own territory and hasn't ruled out taking the country by force if necessary. Lai plans to achieve all of this, he says, by bringing a wide range of players from across society to the table.
全社会防卫韧性的工作内容涉及的面向非常多元复杂，因此委员会的组成必须公私协力，并且以实务经验为导向，秉持专业、跨领域、年龄跨世代、兼顾性别平衡的原则。
Now, there's a diverse group from across the private sector, government and academia, including Taiwan's Vice President Bi Kim-hsiao, government officials from different ministries, including the Defense, Economic, Transportation, Agriculture and Health ministries, religious groups, including Taiwan's Presbyterian Church, who have offered up their churches across Taiwan as places where civil defense training workshops could take place. There are civil defense groups, including the Kuma Academy and Forward Alliance, and also representatives from Taiwan's communication and tech spheres, including the managing director from Google. As President Lai Ching-te said back in June when he announced the formation of the committee, and he also reiterated again today, anything that happens to Taiwan could send ripples through the entire globe. Therefore, Taiwan's issues are international issues, and international issues are Taiwan's. And Lai could be right with Taiwan playing an oversized role in global chip production and being a free and open democracy in Asia. It could be in the rest of the world's interest to make sure that Taiwan remains a free, safe, and fully functional country. Eason Pan, Kamashu, and Reese Ayers in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
A middle school math teacher from southern Taiwan has become the first transgender educator to be honored with a teaching award from the Education Ministry. Huang Ming-chen was recognized for her dedication to creating a safe teaching environment over a 38-year career. She received the award from President Lai Ching-te. Huang thanked those who supported her and spoke frankly about navigating her career as a transgender woman. She said she hopes transgender teachers and students will be able to stand tall in an environment that lets them be themselves. Huang plans to retire from teaching next year. A deconstructed historic monument in Taipei, the Zhongshan Bridge, has been hidden from public view for decades. As Chris Gordon reports, debates over both the bridge's past and future raise questions about what Taiwan's colonial past and its national identity mean.
This is the Zhongshan Bridge, once one of Taipei's most beautiful landmarks. But that was before the original structure was controversially taken down some 20 years ago, and a new one constructed in its place. These days, few locals remember the bridge.
没有哎，这是很久以前的吗？是台北吗？
对。
没有看过。这是南投吧？台北。
Originally built during the 1930s, during the Japanese colonial period, it was known as the Meiji Bridge, after the Japanese emperor. By the 1990s, after typhoons caused flooding upstream, the bridge, whose heritage was already a point of contention, became the subject of further debate among politicians and the city's Water Resources Agency, that said tearing down the bridge would reduce flooding. The bridge was eventually demolished in 2002 under then Taipei Mayor Ma Ying-jeou, a member of the Kuomintang, or Chinese Nationalist Party, who went on to become president of Taiwan.
At that time, the nationalist government conceptualized the bridge as a symbol of oppression, which was a bit ridiculous. Additionally, another reason has to do with flooding, which obviously was also an exaggeration.
Ma promised to rebuild the bridge at a new location within a year. But 22 years and several changes in government later, the historic bridge remains in ruins under this highway bypass. Local city councilors are now pushing for its reconstruction.
其实历任的，就是说有4位市长，那再来，其实过去也有非常多的市议员都有在关注。那如果能够把中山桥这个议题完成，然后也能够让他们更能够理解过去台湾的历史的脉络是什么，我觉得这个是我们想要做的事情。
But there are more complexities to Taiwan's understanding of its history than the preservation of a colonial structure. This is the office of the President of Taiwan. It's one of the most important buildings left over from Japan's 50-year colonization in the early 1900s. And as the seat of government, it's also at the heart of Taiwanese national identity. People here are still debating the place of Japanese colonial rule in their heritage. It's a highly politicized issue, with opinions often divided among party and generational lines. After World War II, during Taiwan's authoritarian period, the nationalist government tore down several Japanese buildings, replacing them with those in a Chinese style, while more contemporary efforts focus on preserving their original appearance.
Demolition or restoration is just the surface, but what's really important is the political implication of urban heritage, and to express our diversified understanding of history and identities.
其实这座桥它作为一个硬体的物质，反映了在台湾非常复杂的国家和历史的认同。光是这件事情，其实也是值得好好被论述和对待。那就我的认知，就是有关于日本时代的历史的不同的评价，还有在情感方面的一些对于象征物的处理方式的决策，才是比较重要的重点。
For now, the remains of the historical bridge remain where they lie, near forgotten and unrecognized. Their fate dependent on a new set of politicians, tasked with weighing how to define their value in a changing city. Eason Chun and Chris Gorin for TaiwanPlus.
The head of the Roman Catholic Church has been presented with a statue of the Taoist sea goddess Mazu. A group from a temple in Taiwan gave him the idol. Tsai Yongde, chair of Yunlin County's Beigang Chaotian Temple, presented a gold statue of Mazu to Pope Francis at the Vatican on Wednesday. The temple hopes the statue will act as a bridge between Christianity and Taoism. The Holy See is one of Taiwan's 12 diplomatic allies and the only European one. The Beigang Temple celebrated its 330th anniversary this year and has been declared a National Heritage Site. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more of our stories. Now, before we go, let's take you to Australia to meet Pesto, the huge king penguin chick who, at 9 months old, weighing 22.5 kilos, is almost as much as his parents combined. I'm Brossard, take care, and see you next time.